basically just a rebranding of my old podcast that I love to do so much because I would just bring my buddies from my film network to geek out on all of our favorite films. What I did with my dad when I was like 6. Not just for our favorite classics, but films as they come out in theaters as well. It's cool because you guys get to hold me accountable and make sure I get in the theater and study the classics. My favorite part was always just hearing about all these random, crazy ass movies I'd never heard of from all this eclectic blend of industry professionals I've met through the years. And if you want to watch the full episode, I pinky promise that I'm going to make that available one day on a website. Enjoy this film nerd life with your boy.
Will Datson, that's right. Mr. Actor Extraordinaire. I got the privilege of working with him on Loving. I'm just going through, if you guys can't tell, I'm just going through all of my top Loving contacts. Yeah. The Loving fam is you can see, man, that was a heck of a couple of months, man. And one of my first teamers, all of my first teamers for Sharon, she's acted with me, Alano. He gives me advice on my scripts and stuff. He's always giving me insider tips, Ruth and Joel, or at least during the production, it was just such a family environment. And I'll never forget how, like, the bonds that we created then, and the fact that they've lasted up to this point, and we're able to sit here and talk about our craft, man, the thing that we love, and the movies that touch us. I'm really looking forward to this, Will. Really looking forward to it.
Hey, man, me too. Thank you for having me, for one. We've been trying to get something together for a while, and it's going to happen.
Yeah, man. The first short film that I had done for my graphic novel, right when you were going to come up on that, you had gotten the call for Sergio,
Gotten the call for Sergio.
Right, yeah. And we know how that goes. It's all love, because then, or immediately after he told me that, he ended up giving me the amazing actor that ended up coming up onto to Federation Temple. And I don't know if you guys can see it from this angle. They'll see it in other angles, but we did a decent job, man. Rob did an incredible job acting,
Rob Douglas.
Yeah, man, Rob Douglas held it down, man. He was man, for him to have read the script like 3 days before, he did a great job, and it was a fun time, man. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think I might have a feature cooking soon, and I'm looking forward to a fun future, man. Plenty of more stuff for us to do.
I'm taking the call from my agent now. Hold on. Trei has a feature now. He's coming. So, block me off for that one.
No, Denzel. No, Denzel. No, Trei.
Denzel, you can't get this one, man. You can't get this one.
You watch movies as a movie lover first, when you first watch it, and then those other times you watch it as, a filmmaker. And
right.
And I think that you can get, not only can you still get that jovial experience, that innocent experience that everybody else gets, but also as an artist, how you can kind of be working on an empty gas tank sometimes when you get in the machine, but you can keep it full with the books you read and the life you live and the experiences, the things that you allow to captivate you, and movies can still do that when you look at it like that, man. So that's really cool, man. I love that.
Yeah, that's interesting. You said that too. Just to piggyback what you said, like that. That's what it is for me too. Like the when your tank is a little empty. Mm-hmm. And maybe you don't have motivation, right? You're in between working or, whatever. And it's just like you see a film that just sparks your creative juices, or just your storytelling, or even from different actors that you watch. And it's like, it's that moment that's like, oh, that's why I love doing it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah. I see Final Destination, Pretty Woman. That's definitely my wife's VHS.
So you know what's crazy about Final Destination? You remember when it was the tree with the truck with the log, and like so you know how normally every time I drive and I see that tree or that log with the truck, I go to the right every single time. Every single time. But like I want to say maybe like a few months ago, it was like I think somebody was moving, or maybe it was like a Sears or something. They had all these big appliances up there.
Right.
And I was riding around that joint for like a good strong 15 minutes right behind it. For a good strong 15 minutes, just not thinking nothing. I wasn't in a hurry. I was like, slow your roll, player. Sometimes in life, you gotta slow your roll.
Yeah.
Don't be in a hurry. Man, I went into the right. In this moment, I took off into the right. Snap, snap. Boom, 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 boom. Bruh. That's why that's why movies like Final Destination is out here, bro. They letting us know, bro. They saving lives out here, bro.
Hey, yo. Oh, man, that's crazy that it actually snapped.
Son, I don't know what it was. You said Bad Boys, the first one, Michael Bay, Willpower.
Bad Boys, Michael Bay's right. Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
It's right there. I'm going to go grab it in a minute so y'all can see it.
That's dope. What's crazy is, have you seen the third one?
Yeah.
I was so pleasantly surprised. I thought it was going to be just a cash grab, but I enjoyed that movie, you know?
Yeah, man. They did it well, you know, and I remember Will saying, like, him and Martin, they weren't going to just jump to it unless the script was well done. And even thinking about that, like even with Eddie and the Coming to America too, you know, he was like, I'm not gonna unless it's right. And you know, of course we haven't seen it, but but yeah, when you revisit a franchise like that, man, like you said, I was very pleasantly surprised about that, about Bad Boys 3.
Yeah, man. It's so cool you brought up Coming to America too. Eddie Murphy is a magician. I never want to say he can't do anything. I know for a while he started coming out with a lot of I got a lot of sequels that got iffy reviews. But man, I have all the faith in the world in him for some reason with this one, man.
Absolutely.
At first, when I first heard it, like a year or two ago, I think when it was buzzing, I was like, no, don't do it. Like, don't remake like Golden Child or Trading Places. Don't do it. Right? I was really worried, but I have faith in him, man. Like all the players that are a part of it, I'm looking forward to it, man.
I trust him, especially knowing how important that movie is to the culture. I think, you know, he wouldn't do it unless they were ready. So
right. And I was wondering, and you know, with the PC culture and just with comedy these days, just how hard it is. You know, they had those horrible African accents, you know, and they had like this, you know, the old Jewish guy, and like I was like, oh man, like I was worried, like maybe. This will be too tame. Like I was like, I hope if he's gonna do it that he goes. Eddie. That he does Eddie. He goes all the way in, you know, because I love him for it, you know. Malcolm and Marie. This is a love story, a love-hate story. This couple is out in LA, and this is a filmmaker, a black filmmaker, Malcolm, who has just. I can feel us being filmmakers and being in this industry, we have low key been thinking about this night all our lives, right? Where we that premiere of our magnum opus, the first film that people give us our flowers for, right? You know,
absolutely.
This is Malcolm's night. He put a movie out there. It's based very much that we'll find out on Marie and her, you know, being a black woman dealing with addiction, which is very meaty in itself. Talking about a black man needing, you know, the raw soul life of a woman, of this black woman. Not only her support, but literally her life in order to like kind of, you know, to put him out there, right? And and this argument, I feel, I'm so glad that you picked this movie, but because one, just me being a filmmaker, these are discussions and arguments and states of mind that I will humbly say I've been in, that I've had with my spouse and that I've had to deal with within myself, right? Just and it opens up. I love the realness of all the interactions, and he's playing the James Brown a song, and he's screaming it, and when you rip and you feel in the song, and all the words, but you can't get them out right. So like it's just
and it plays, man.
Right.
Like it's funny, just that opening. Like you said, and I think maybe it spoke to me in so many reasons why it spoke to me. Mm-hmm. But then it was because I'm in this industry, right. And it is because you go through these situations, and it is because you've had these type of verbals. People don't. so it was kind of like, wow, like I'm watching like the first 20 minutes and I can't turn away. I'm like, this is so. And one of the reasons I really liked it, one, I got to give Sam Levinson his flowers. I know a lot of people are. And another reason I wanted to do it, because I was reading reviews, and not just reviews from like columns. I'm how the internet is crazy, and so they'll review a movie before people even left the theater. They tweet about it.
People haven't watched it. I swear they haven't even watched it.
Mm-hmm. They haven't even watched it, and what I found interesting was the co-signing of some of the negativity that people found in the film. Right. And I'm like, but did you watch it? Because if you watched it, I know people were like, I was triggered, and they will get into that part, but that opening shot, and I heard Sam talking about it coming in, how they dialed it back, and then it was like a rotating, him walking around. I thought that was just so brilliant, just from a technical aspect, from a visual, the color of it, the lines of it. It was to me, it was just beautiful. Like it was an ode to like old Hollywood, man.
Right, exactly.
And I'm glad an actor's dream.
Right, exactly. It's such a performance-driven, character-driven story, and I love how you said of all the things of the mise-en-scene that you also said color, because it's grayscale, but he used color so masterfully in it. For me, being an aspiring Black filmmaker. And if you ask me, or, hold on, James Cameron told me to not say aspiring. Me as a being a filmmaker. Right. You know what I'm saying? You dig? Me as a filmmaker, right? and to know what I, just what the struggle is. I was trying to refrain from calling it a struggle because I embrace the process. I enjoy figuring it out. I'm so content. Me too. I'm so happy with where I'm at in my career and with my collaborators, and it wasn't fake. I felt it. I just felt it from my side. I could picture that night, and I can picture those arguments, and man.
And I know people say, well, you guys are in the business, it's going to be good to you guys. But it was like, well, just from a human emotion, no matter what it is, whether you was in this business or you sold a company or whatever, the case was celebratory and you're feeling it. And then this argument happens because of this situation. Then it's like, oh, that was so human. It wasn't about them being Black. It wasn't about them being white or Chinese or whatever race or culture.
Right.
Listen, love and anger translate across any cultural color barrier ever.
Right.
I wanted to advocate for the film.
Yeah.
Right. I have no stake in the movie other than we know Will, who was one of the producers, and he was one of our producers, and I didn't know that until I watched it.
Really, yeah.
But I wanted to advocate for it because I started to see a trend online.
Right.
And it was a trend of kind of knocking the movie.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Because it was, people were like, oh, that's not Black love. And I'm like, Is it not? It's they never said it was this a mushy love story.
Right.
And even in the subtitle, it says, what does it say? This is not a love story. It's a story about love.
It did. Yeah. Huh. Right.
I don't know any relationship that hasn't had ups and downs. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think that's a false note from the people who are saying those things that kind of bash it. It's like, that's probably one of the realest, rawest films I've seen in a while. Yeah. And two of the best performances I've seen in a while, to capture the realism.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it felt like such an exposed nerve, that house. It felt like such an exposed nerve. And I think that when we're talking about this colorless thing, I remember us talking about, us making movies and them, again, not being black movies. Them just being movies. And I think that Sam Levinson, how about we not, I don't want to be the black role. I don't want to be the black sidekick. I don't want to be the magic Negro. I want to be the straight man. I want to be the detective. I want to be a full
person,
right?
Realized human being,
right? And here we are. It's a very like Leonardo DiCaprio could have played that role,
right?
And what is it? Antonio Banderas could have played the role.
Antonio Banderas,
whoever could have, and it would have been great. Freaking Jennifer Lawrence. I mean, it could have been, a gay relationship. That was two strong personalities. And we all, and this isn't about whether or not they're going to make it through the relationship or not. This was a night. This was a night where he forgot to thank her, and that's what you. I can see that night looking just like that. I could like my hubris, like me and my hubris, maybe a younger version of me, or maybe somebody that's not my wife, because she is not having that. She would have walked up on the stage. Excuse me.
For sure. You might get smacked up a couple times.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have felt the eyes on me, right? No, but I could definitely see an alternate dimension, right? Or this night, because you could see at the very beginning, I felt in the first 15, 20 minutes before she says it won't be a productive night, I felt it. I was like, this is going to be a horror story. There's going to be blood. Like, even I was like, she's too chill.
And he kept what is funny, because it's so... It's so apropos too, because it's really just like relationships, right? It's like, that's, your woman, whoever, they, the level head will say, okay, you had a little bit of drink. I have some things I want to say, but if I say them, right. You don't want to go there because I'm feeling it.
Man.
This is the reason, but I got 16 reasons right behind the reason I'm mad. So go ahead if you want to.
Right.
And see, we, and I put myself in that position because, look, I'm married, and I could have that, and I might want to push a little bit. I might want to say, but what, because I'm oblivious. And I thought he was kind of oblivious to it to a degree. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He was such on a high. He had so many things to think about that night.
Right.
I get it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I get it. You excited, but then I get her side, because it's like, wait a minute. What did she say? You even thanks your damn gaffer.
Right. Yeah, man. I mean, because they were both right.
They're both right.
I think just as innocent as him forgetting her is as sort of insidious, maybe kind of mean-hearted, because if he is that person. If you are in that, have allowed yourself in that state of success, or in that place where you are getting your flowers, and I can only theorize, but I just feel like if you are in that position and you forget you know, if you forget about how it got you there, you know, I think that it's easy when you're on the outside in, you know, it's because who's to say when the lights is on and, you know, everybody's clapping and everybody's looking at you. But man, I just think that if you haven't been able to kind of ground yourself, because the same thing, I feel like, you know, almost the same thing that grounds you in that moment is the same thing that grounds you when you're writing the script and when you're going through the production days, right? You know, it should be that same source that grounds you, if that's your woman, right? You know, that kind of brings you back, and then it has to come out. It almost, you know, because that's what grounded you, right?
It's like on an autopilot. Like you got to be like, oh, and let me get this out of the way right there.
Right. Yes, first and foremost, right? Yeah, you know, yeah.
But my baby right here, you know. So you know that's, and I could see both of the struggles in that. You know, especially he's been drinking, and hell, he might have been sober when he forgot. Who knows, right? But that's what makes the movie so good, because you can paint it however you want to paint it before you even get to the house. Exactly. You see what I'm saying? Yes, and I think they did a really masterful job of that, because I know Jeff told me this a while back, Jeff Nichols, and I asked him about, right, because I could see Jeff making a film like this. You know what I mean? He's a master of this. Yeah. And I said, Jeff, how do you, what's your key to write? Because I can't write dialogue. I'm not a really good dialogue writer.
It's a beast.
Right. You know the struggle. And he says to me, he says, what are you trying to say? Or what are the characters trying to say? I said, well, this is what the characters will be saying, but I don't know how to say it. He said, then don't. Right. He said, the actions of it, you let the audience write that for you. But the emotions and things that are on screen, you know, with his brush, the camera, that's what's going to come out. So you can, you know, even in acting class, when they tell you, you can say 3 things and say them a different way, and they all mean 3 different things, but it's the same exact thing you're saying. You know what I mean? Right. Like, hey man, nice shoes. I really like your shoes. Yeah, nice shoes. I don't really like your shoes. I don't like you. You know, it's just this whole battle. So that's what I took. You know what I mean? And I think that's what Jeff was saying. And I thought about Jeff when I watched it, because I said, yo, it is wordy. It's a wordy film. It almost had to be to keep your attention, because it's 2 people. Right. And it is an argument. So they're going to, I thought it worked beautifully. But those moments when they were just still and it was nothing said, I was like, oh my God. Like,
show don't tell.
It's a whole different, it's a whole story on the face and in the actions. And I thought about that. I said, you know, Sam, everybody involved, they did a really great job of telling a story without, like, because I read somebody said it was preachy. I was like, oh, I don't think it was preachy. You know, the monologues, I get it, because people may not be used to that. They might need some action or something, but
it was very stage play-esque.
It was stage play. It was like theater. It was like, you know, watching Chekhov, or you know, or you know, Charles Full or August Wilson or something like that. You know what I mean? Exactly. But I thought it was an ode to all of that. I thought it was like ode to old Hollywood, ode to the stage, ode to people like August Wilson, ode to Raising of the Sun, ode to so many people, Spike Lee with the camera movements and things. And I thought, you know, I just think they deserve a lot of praise for what they did, especially the time that they did it in.
Yes, and that was what Will was telling me about too. There was one of the first films like out of Cali that was getting filmed during COVID, and there was just a lot of things that hadn't been invented yet, that they are literally figuring out on the fly, man. Kudos to them. And what's crazy is Sam Levinson, I actually PA'd with his little brother Jack out in DC too. So I'm like, it's crazy how, like, only a couple of degrees away. I'm glad that you forced me to do this episode, because I probably wouldn't have put it together until like a date night with my wife or something one random night. But but man, yeah, he again, so well written, the dialogue and everything. And when Marie, just going back real quick, when Marie says it won't be a productive if we bring it up, so let's not talk about it. I love that line so much because me and her have both said it in our relationship, right? And then also I think of when we don't know better to say that, a younger couple or or younger person, when you don't know to say that, like that, and when you're young, someone saying that, you don't realize just how big of a red flag that was. Like that is a code red warning. Danger, Will Robinson. Danger. Like
don't push the button. It's blinking and it. Yeah, I'm gonna push it.
But he's drunk, man, and he's feeling himself. So it goes down. And it's also, and I think the reason why both of them, just as much as I want to call Malcolm selfish, and he's obviously selfish, I think that Marie is also selfish. And it's because of these little minute moments that we know when we're in our relationships, when you make a choice to where you would rather be right than for there to be peace and for that person's well-being to be more important. You know when you say things or when you bring up certain things that you are declaring war, or if nothing else I have to challenge my mate right now. But maybe it's because you're tired of it. Maybe it's because you're tired of making yourself small. I'm not saying that it's an abusive thing to do or a wrong thing to do to not be vocal about how you're feeling and letting, where you stand be. But also, just him calling her 60 different synonyms of crazy, basically throughout the entire, calling her unstable and all that stuff.
Unstable.
Like, clearly you're not trying to resolve the situation. You're just constantly trying to intellectualize the situation so that you can be right. And then on Marie's side, you're not trying to calm him down. There's a lot of things that you can do. You're a woman. There's one thing that you really can do to shut it all down. But you can shut down. You can come at me if it wasn't so important for you to be heard, and I get it because I just didn't call your name. I just didn't thank you, and she's completely rectified. I respect her emotions in this film completely because she's completely rectified, but still you're not looking for resolution either. I don't think she was really looking. She was trying to F with him, She was poking a bear.
I felt the same thing because even at that part when she says it's not going to be productive, let's talk about it later, and then she goes, he wants to know. You can't listen in a relationship. You can't tell somebody something. You know how somebody used to be like, yo, I got something to tell you. And then you go, oh, what is it? And they were like, not right now, I'll tell you later. And now it's eating at you. You got to know.
Oh, yeah.
What are you going to tell me? Why would you tell me if you weren't going to tell me?
Right.
You know what I mean?
They over there at the bed and you like this, though.
Yeah. It's like, well, the whole, we need to talk. And now you're like, then in your mind, like you're trying to figure out 8 different things you've done. What did I do? Do we have to talk about what? What is it? Your wheels are turning.
Right.
So now you gonna push because it's like, yo, what is it? I really want to know. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying he didn't want to know, but I think when she told him what it was, and they had already kind of had the issue, and like he said, I apologized all night about it, because he already knew.
Yeah.
But he needs to hear it another way. He needs to say, he needs her to say, okay, I understand and I accept your apology for it. I don't, just don't let it happen again. He needs to hear those type of words. Mm-hmm. And when she doesn't give him that and she goes, it's like a bigger issue. Now it's like, oh, so now you're bringing up stuff that you ain't said to me yet.
Right.
So now there's more stuff that and she's talking about like communication. He's like, well, why you ain't communicate that to me? It's like a two-way street.
Yeah.
She's right. She's very justified, like you said, but she is selfish in that way because I think she likes to poke him. She likes to see him do the performance and it's a rush. Because think about it. And I just thought about this. She was a drug addict, right?
Right.
and I've never been a drug addict. I know people in my family. I know friends. People, I won't mention them, but I know the struggle they went through. Mm-hmm. And when you ask them, they're always chasing the high, what the drug made them feel like.
Exactly.
It's like a what do you call it? Adrenaline. Adrenaline junkie.
Yeah, right.
Some people like confrontation because it makes them feel alive.
Right.
They don't want peace because it makes them feel like, well, what am I? And he even said that, like, you're scared that I'm with. Why am I with you? Mm-hmm. And I guess she has to keep him at bay so she can justify the crazy. I like this craziness or whatnot. But it was just beautiful because it was like if you're a therapist, you could go through this movie and just write like PCP plans, man. It's just like
exactly. And my wife is a therapist too. I can't wait for her to watch this movie. She didn't have time to watch it this week, but I can't wait for her to watch it. She's gonna have
she's gonna have like person-centered plans everywhere. Yes. And Malcolm's problem was,
I'm gonna walk in the house. It's gonna be like a beautiful mind, just like papers all over the wall.
It's like, honey, what are you doing? I said, watch Malcolm and Marie. I have to get this out.
Okay, I get it. Yeah. No, it's you bringing up her drug addiction. I think a lot of relationships, a lot of people, and I'm not saying that you're doomed to do this. Some people can grow out of it. I think a lot of times people do get addicted to the highs and lows of relationships because they never develop coping mechanisms. They never develop safe places to express their feelings and see feelings all the way out. So all they think of relationships is just this constant back and forth. And when it's not happening, when the stability is there, they're like, there's nothing else to do here, right? They just...
Right, because that's all they knew.
Right. When we're talking about these two broken individuals, going back to the music, when she starts playing Dionne Warwick, the Get Rid of Him,
just start the table.
And like, and like just those lyrics, those lyrics are just all in the body, right?
He gets up because he's like, I ain't listen to this shit.
I hate this song. I never liked this song.
It's almost like my wife she has a song that she just loves the song. And when we first started dating, it's I need to call her in here and ask her what it is. It's a Lauryn Hill song. Now I used to love him. Now I do. I can't think of it. Of the song. You're right. The lyrics to that song.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So when we were younger and dating, and maybe I had got on the nerves or something like that. Maybe we were riding and that song comes on and she's like singing a little too much, and I start. I'm like, why this song? Like, why you got to do that? And
why you singing it all loud? Why you singing the bass part all loud? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like you ain't sang no song the whole ride. You gonna sing that shit? Why now?
Sometimes there's just some songs just that's just it, right? That is just symbolizes everything that you're feeling. But talking about that song, and then also, I really love towards the end where they fragment them a lot with the mirrors.
Yes.
And them kind of occupying the same space, but fragmented individuals. Relationship. Right. Yes.
You peeped that.
Yes. And that's what I'll conclude with. That outcast, liberation at the end, right?
Yes.
That liberation from the film. This is cinema. Thank you, Will Greenfield, Sam Livingston, Zendaya,
John Washington,
John David. So y'all, this is cinema. You guys, for a moment, just for a couple of hours, man, we got to watch this very intimate moment and really see ourselves in it. And if you do want to bring in the element of color, I feel like we're that much more rounded as people. You were talking about Mahershala, and it's very you guys are almost kindred spirits to me in that, like, our relationships on set, because when I was working on House of Cards, Mahershala just walked up to me, and this is season 2, so he hasn't won anything. I think the most he had done was the biggest he had done at least was like Benjamin Button in House of Cards at that time, and he had just casually walked up to me. I'm one of the black PAs, and just striking conversation with me. He asked me about my graphic novel all the way back then too, right? But you're all the way back then. But I like watching that maturation, because for him to be so approachable, and he walked up to me for us to have built this, and it wasn't just me, it was all like it was
everybody.
Yes, it was everybody on set. He was nice to everybody on set. He took pictures with fans and mothers and kids, and he was all and to know that is possible for us and for him, like him getting that Oscar, and you telling me and listening to him talk about the options that he has, like it is this is the stuff. Like right now, I know there's COVID and there's everything else that we can talk about that's crazy, but just as far as black cinema goes, I just we just lost our brother Chadwick, right?
Oh man,
we lost our king, man, but Black Panther set it off even back then when it did, or even before then with Blade, or even way back then with when Spike Lee and
Spike Lee, and I gotta say this too, with the all black, we gotta give flowers to Reggie Hudlin and Eddie Murphy with Boomerang and House, all of those things.
They went through so much. The list goes on and on. We're if you start naming names, you're just gonna leave people out. It's so unfair. But all of that is just to say is this that right now is that I really feel like this film, no matter who was the EP, the writer, whoever, it's this experience, this 2-hour experience that I feel like really symbolizes what's happening right now for us, and I hope that we all realize it as we're going about and making our movies and because this is all just about touching people and creating again these 2 hours of honesty, and I love where the industry is right now in that. And maybe I can be a little idealist because I'm on the outside in so many ways, but I'm encouraged by movies like this. So yeah,
absolutely, it's very encouraging to us to we're just talking about the people of color, right. Black people. Yes. Whether you're across the pond or not, let me say that to these people. Whether you're from Africa, England, whoever, we all black, we all brothers, we all, even if you're white or I don't care who you are. Right. It's hard enough as just to be an actor.
Right.
Right. It's hard enough to just be in this business. Just let's keep it real. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think we should all, like you said, look at it as just a collective and go, if we're in this community, you're in the business, you go, damn, I hope, I pray, I want to will it into existence that I could make something that could touch. Like I think this movie touched, but I've been touched by a lot of movies, but I think this one just spoke to me it was weird. It's just it just hit me from an artistic standpoint, from a personal standpoint, from the Hollywood standpoint. It just was like, yeah, I'm so inspired now, like you said, man. So yeah, man, kudos to you too, man, because I know you're gonna make great art going forward, like this. I just watched the one you sent me, and you everything is getting better every time, and I just can't wait to get that script. You know what I'm saying? I just can't wait to get the script, and we get everybody on board, man. So
blessings. No, man, I'm looking forward to it, man. Progress feels the best.